On this episode of Saints Happy Hour, me and Kevin are going to give you wild, crazy, insane predictions for the Saints 2024 seasons. We are going to get nuts. Thomas, hit that intro.
Welcome to the award-winning Saints Happy Hour podcast. Seriously, this podcast has won awards. American standards are dropping every day. The show features Ralph, the best host in the world, who can barely pronounce his own name, much less anyone else's.
Marcus Callaway.
Dave is that dude who loves taking bathroom breaks. He's mad about almost anything, so make sure to lower your volume when he speaks.
Put that freaking clown meme back up that I made. Jesus Christ.
Andrew has sources, watches tapes, and knows football. He rarely shows up on time and wants to commit crimes to help the Saints win.
Sean Payton would have done illegal things. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because you know it's true.
Oh, and there's also Kevin, who is great at doing mock drafts, but struggles to actually watch Saints games or have a functioning relationship.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Anyway, grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy the insanity.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. Thanks for joining it. I got Kevin with me. I got Thomas running the show back in Poland. If you're finding us on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button to our channel so you don't miss any of our YouTube content. If you're listening to the audio-only version, find us wherever you get your podcasts, saintshappyhour.com. Go to saintshappyhour.com and check us out and think about becoming a patron. All right, Thomas, Kevin, thanks for joining us. This topic today, Kevin, me and you, it gets to the offseason, and once we get past the draft, right?
You're desperate for content.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say desperate. I like to think of it as we got to get creative, because we don't really want any Saints news, because any Saints news between like the middle of May to like the middle of July, if it's not a draft pick signing a contract, it's probably bad news, right? So you don't really want any Saints news. So we got to be creative. We got to come up with our own topics. We got to think of fun things to talk about. So today, I wanted to do, because the Saints schedule just came out, I said, let's do 3 silly Saints predictions for 2024. And I'm not talking about, Olave is going to be offensive player of the year. I'm talking silly, ridiculous, aggressive, possibly stupid predictions for the 2024 season.
You want stupid? You've come to the right place.
That's right. So I'm going to start out with one that people on the YouTube, I'll say this for the audio only version people, but San Antonio Saint was our MVP for the live stream over the last week or Tuesday. And when you're the MVP, you get to write on the whiteboard and you get to write whatever you want. San Antonio Saint said Clint Kubiak for president. So we got it on the whiteboard. And my funniest prediction, Kevin, is this. The 2024 Saints finish on offense exactly the same as they did in 2023, which would mean they'll be 9th in points scored. Not bad, pretty good, right? 9th in points scored, average 23.6 a game. They'll finish almost last in running the ball, right? They were pretty bad in running the ball. 30th in yards per carry, 21st in rushing yards gain. They only had 18 touchdowns. They only had, I think, like 2 20-yard runs all year. They'll finish exactly the same, but they're going to get luckier in 2 more games. Like the game against Green Bay where they coughed up the lead, the game against Jacksonville where Foster Moreau dropped the touchdown pass that could have tied the game. Like that'll go different. So they'll be, instead of being 9-8, they'll be 11-6, but the offense will be exactly the same. But the thing that's going to make that hilarious and funny and silly is Clint Kubiak will be hailed as a genius and possibly get a head coaching job, but nothing will be different. But because the Saints win a game or 2 more, he's going to be hailed as a genius, and I'm here for it. That's my first.
But you're saying he's going to be the offensive coordinator for exactly 1 year?
Yes. It's going to be exactly the same as it was in 2023, but people are going to pretend or think or imagine that it's completely different and better.
I would almost say it'll be funnier if the Saints
would regress but win more games.
If the Saints get 10 more yards total, like average 10 more yards, well, hang on, where would the 10 yards put them? It would move them from 330. I tell you what, so let's keep it a little bit more normal. Let's say 5 more yards per game on average. That would bump them 2 spots up on the on above
yards per game
23. So let's say it's that. They average 5 more yards on offense, and they do the exact same thing you said. They win 2 games in it, the ball bounces the right way for them in just 2 games. They go 11-6, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody heralds Clint Kubiak because he did improve the offense.
Yeah.
5 extra yards per game or whatever the hell. And then he gets a coaching job.
And here's the thing. It's funny. People probably listen to this, but that would never happen. Or the Saints offense, even funnier, Kevin, the offense goes backwards, goes from like 9th to like 13th in points.
Well, hang on.
But they win more games, and he's still.
What were they in points?
They were 9th in points. The Saints finished 9th in points scored, 8th in points allowed, and yet didn't make the playoffs. How?
23.6 gets you 9th in points. That's crazy.
That's right.
But actually, if they went back 3 spots, the Packers are 3 spots back, and they scored 22.5.
Yeah.
And they made the playoffs.
That's right. So my point is, Kevin, I think it could be funnier, even funnier. The Saints would go backwards on offense, but win more games for whatever reason.
Then do it. So then let's do it backwards. So instead of 23.3 points, instead of 23.6, they average just under 23, like 22.7. Let's see, total yards per game. What were they at? They were at 337.2. Let's bump them down to 330 flat. That would move them 4 spots down. That would put them in where the Los Angeles Chargers were. I hate saying Los Angeles Chargers.
It's hard. I still say San Diego.
Carr threw for what, 3,800 yards? Let's say he throws
30.
Let's say he throws shit. Where was I? Okay.
3,500.
Thing. I got to open up another tab here. Derek Carr. Let's say instead of 3,878, let's say he just throws for 36. And let's say he goes 24 touchdowns instead of 25. And interceptions, let's bump that down 1. Let's say 24 and 7.
Here's my question to you, Kevin. In this scenario where the Saints
Saints make the playoffs.
The Saints offense.
That's
it. The Saints offense goes backwards, but they win more games.
Make the playoffs.
And Kubiak
gets so many fucking people ripping their hair out over this.
And Kubiak gets a head coaching job. Would Saints fans be laughing at whoever hired Kubiak because would be like, we went backwards? Or would we be like, oh my God, Kubiak's leaving, we're doomed? Like, what do you think it would be if the offense went backwards, but they made the playoffs?
You'd see a split.
I see.
I wish I could I don't even know what the ratio of it would be, but you would absolutely see a split.
And here's the thing.
You would see people, because they would spin that off.
That's right.
Onto the Derek Carr situation.
Better in clutch time. They were better clutch.
It would
key moments.
Yeah, that's what it would spin off to.
Right.
It wouldn't even spin in a DA, because what'll happen is DA will get an extension. You'll just get people mad over that.
You'll have a lot of this. I watch the games. You don't know ball. You get a lot of that. Here's the thing, Kevin, and people are probably watching this and be like, Cripple, there is no way that the Saints offense would go backwards and Kubiak would get a head coaching job. But I'm here to tell you, Dave Canales.
The NFL does way crazy shit, brother.
Yeah. Dave Canales, head coach, Carolina Panthers. Tampa's offense, they were 32nd in running the ball in 2022. They were 32nd in running the ball in 2023. They moved up 5 spots on offense from 25th in points with Tom Brady to 20th in points with Baker Mayfield. They went 9-8, looked really good against a broken Philadelphia team in the playoffs, and that man got a 6-year guaranteed contract from the Carolina Panthers. So don't tell me that it can't happen with Kubiak. Saints offense goes backwards, they make the playoffs, and he gets a head coach job.
Here's
I
the
think that's
deal. Mike Tomlin is the longest tenured coach in the NFL,
yeah.
but you could argue he's coming into this season on the hot seat.
That's right.
So let's say that the Steelers go 7-10 or even 6-11 somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Fans would want his ass out.
That's right.
And they might fire him. What usually, not always, but what usually happens when a coach gets fired?
You
They hire somebody from the other end
of the spectrum. That's right.
of the spectrum. So they would want to bring an offensive guy.
That's right.
Hey, Clint Kubiak got the Saints 2 extra wins.
Did you
Got him into the playoffs.
see Derek Carr in that playoff
roll
game?
The dice. Let's
Yeah.
roll the
Wow.
dice with him.
Let's go.
He might be able to stabilize. I don't even know who he might be able to sort of figure
Russell
out
Wilson.
what to do
He
with
can
Russell
fix it.
Wilson.
He can-
Or maybe
or
the
Justin
team will
Fields.
draft another quarterback and he can kind of like manage the
Right.
situation and guide this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one scenario. Like I'm looking at these other coaches. Yeah, these guys aren't getting fired. These guys aren't getting fired.
So that was my.
But there's guys who might get
Totally.
fired.
Yeah.
There's guys who might get fired who ownership might want to bring in a coordinator that
Mhm.
if he comes off a good year, there you go. Like that
Kubiak's
shit
got
happens.
solid lineage. Dad was a coach. I could see
That
it.
happens.
So give me your first silly prediction for 2024.
My insane prediction is Derek Carr does not play.
Wow.
You
make a lot of people happy with that.
Well, whether that's an injury, whether it's, insert reason, abducted by aliens, gets busted like the golfer today, except
my
ends up
God.
staying in jail for whatever reason. I don't know. Whatever. He's not playing this year. You get a quarterback battle. Jake Hayner starts
Describing it
week one.
nicely.
Jake Hayner starts
Sexy
week
Jake
one.
Hayner.
He gets hurt.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler comes in, and then you actually get Spencer Rattler with Taysom Hill backing him up,
Wow.
and the Saints somehow go 10-7
Wow. Oh my God.
and eke into the playoffs
That would be
behind
amazing.
Spencer Rattler,
I'd sign
who
up for that
has-
today. That
who
sounds
throws
amazing.
for like 4,000 yards,
Wow.
like 26 touchdowns, but like 19 picks.
Oh yeah.
Like he's just like he's like Nuke LaLoosh. He's all over the damn place. He's
When
just
it's
crazy.
when it's great, he's great. But when he's bad, he's intercepted.
Right. It's almost
love it.
Jameis-esque.
Yeah, but it's Jameis like playing for minimum wage. I could
But
get
it's
behind
young,
that.
but it's like young and wild Jameis, where
Oh,
it's
I
like, I can fix him.
That sounds amazing. Can I where's the paperwork? I'm like a guy wanting to buy a car. Like, put the papers in front of me. I'll sign up for that right now. That sounds amazing.
Like,
You know what?
So
so
you
here-
want me to get now? I'll get sillier. I can give you sillier.
Well, here's the thing. I have a question. We got to dive into this. Derek Carr, if he doesn't play, like, is it because like that he leaves the team and like goes to start a ministry in Europe or something, or is he like on
Whatever
the
the reason.
sideline and
Like-
sad?
Whatever the you know what? Let's say he wants to follow his dream of
Maybe he wants to start a YouTube channel. I don't know. I don't know his life.
of fronting a Cure cover band, so he gets to wear his guy liner all the time.
He
Something
opens
like
up
that.
a makeup shop
Yeah, there you go. He runs a YouTube tutorial of applying eye
for
makeup.
makeup. Yeah.
A makeup channel for men. I like
Yeah,
that.
that'll work. So you got that, but I'll give you another silly one.
Okay, good. Hit it me. I like it.
Backup fullback Xander Horvath has a Mike Carney type game
Oh, that's amazing.
against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Thomas.
So
Marcus,
Carney Redux against the Cowboys, but it's Xander Horvath.
and we make Thomas do the split screen.
Hey, Tomas,
Carney on
check
one,
the
Carney
timestamp on
touchdowns
this.
on one side, the Vanderhoff guy touchdowns on the other. I love that idea. That we could go viral with that.
Absolutely.
That's fun. I like that. I was thinking my second prediction. This gets a little dark and twisted, but Saints start the season 5-0. 5-0.
This gets dark. It starts 5-0. Okay.
It starts 5-0. They go to Kansas City on a Monday night, beat the Chiefs, and are 5-0. Are the only undefeated team in the NFL, and all of us.
5 weeks.
Yes, right.
All right.
From all of us,
it's your thing.
From the DA haters to the DA doubters, which I would classify myself as, to the DA apologist. We're all together and we're like, man, I guess we got to hand it to DA. Like, they're 5-0. They're the only undefeated team in NFL. They just went to Kansas City. They just won. Taylor Swift is sad. She's crying in the box because Kelsey just got dominated. Like, this is amazing. Saints are 5-0. And at the end of the year, DA still gets fired because the Saints finished 8-9. So DA reaches his absolute pinnacle of belief and people behind him against Kansas City on Monday night, and it slowly erodes.
3-9 the rest of the way.
They go 3-9 the rest of the way, and DA is fired out of a cannon, and all the DA skeptics and doubters, we all pretend that the 5-0 never happened, and we celebrate DA getting fired like a third world dictator getting overthrown. That is my second silly prediction for 2024.
So if that happens,
I don't know, but just scenario.
Whenever DA gets fired, whenever that happens,
yeah,
we need to have Tomas or somebody make a thing and send it to Tomas. Where remember that famous footage in the Iraq War where the soldiers yanked down that statue of Saddam?
Yeah.
And it just fell over perfectly at a 90-degree angle. So just put Dennis Allen's head on the Saddam statue, and it just falls straight down. I think that'll work.
I think you do that, and then, Thomas, you do a cut or a wipe, and it's the guys with the coffin dancing.
Yeah.
and we just and then you end with Obama saying, "We got him."
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We're just scattershotting all over the damn place.
So wait, it'll be amazing. It'll be more popular than the Saints schedule reveal. Timestamp this, Thomas. We need to save that. Put that in your notes. So that's my crazy, silly prediction for. What's your next one, Kevin? Are you going to get even weirder than mine? Mine started out.
Well, I gave you Xander Horvath too. So let's see. I will say Ramczyk retires to become an O-line assistant coach.
I like that.
And somehow helps the O-line, become like top 5 in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know how, because listen, if anybody's heard me talk about this team for more than 10 minutes or heard me on any of the recent shows, my thoughts on the offensive line. But so it's funny for me if Ramczyk just becomes like an offensive line coach, advisor, or whatever, and somehow unlocks the secret sauce for, I don't know, Mark Evans II and Sal Divetti and this team.
James Hurst.
Yeah, James Hurst.
I got another prediction for you, Kevin. It's another dark. My predictions, my silly predictions, they got dark. I'm not gonna lie. They got a little dark.
Okay.
This one's the darkest of all. But in our time of darkness, someone will come to make it better. And here's what it is.
Okay.
The Saints play the Chargers on the West Coast in Los Angeles. They lose on a horrible referee call, whatever, to fall to 0-8. In the postgame,
Yeah.
on Channel 6, Jim Mora lives in Los Angeles. He'll be doing the postgame with Fletcher Mackel. He'll probably be in attendance at the stadium. He will become so disgusted with the winless Saints, he will reenact the diddly poo speech. He'll reenact it, punch Fletcher Mackel, and say, that's a wrap. And it'll go viral. It'll burn Twitter to the ground. It's my prediction.
Fletcher Mackel. Jesus Christ. I tell you what, I think Mora still has some pop in those hands too. Like, boxing people say the last thing to go is your power. So I could see Jim Mora taking just getting angry and swinging, and Fletcher Mackel getting knocked back from it. I could see that.
Yeah. I wish I don't have it queued up. I should have told Thomas ahead of time for that prediction. I should have had him I should have had Thomas have the diddly poo sound.
0-8, good God.
Cue it up. It would be dark. It would be. I mean,
brother, we might as well dress like, Mad Max cosplay at that point. I'm going to be spraying silver paint on my teeth.
Here's the thing, though, Kevin. Listen, if the Saints aren't going to be, if they're just like, if you told me the Saints can either be mediocre and be like 7-10 or 8-9, or they can go 0-8 and Jim Mora can reenact the diddly poo speech on live television because he's so disgusted. If you told me I could have 7-10 or I could have the diddly poo speech, I would say I would want the diddly poo speech.
Well, what happened was that game we got our ass kicked. In the second half, we just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to.
See that? I mean, it would be amazing. I mean,
it's rhythmic. It's rhythmic.
It really is like Jim Moore. Like he was an artist ahead of his time.
Yeah,
like he really
was like
a
the
rich
pyramids.
tapestry there.
he really
He's
was.
an alien.
He was like the pyramid. He was like the Egyptian pyramids of the NFL. He was a man ahead of his time. So those are my silly, ridiculous predictions. We'll call them predictions, scenarios, whatever, for the 2024 season. That's what I mean. I'm sorry, I got a little dark, but
So hang on a second. Let me check are they playing the Steelers? No, they're Steelers. Damn it. I was really hoping they'd have been playing the Steelers. Can't believe I forgot who their opponents were. I was really hoping the Saints were playing the Steelers, because I wanted the Saints to have a hell of a game on defense, and then for Dennis Allen to have to, and for like the Saints to get a pick six at the end of the game when they're already winning, and then for like Dennis Allen to have to potentially apologize again to Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice little touch. But as it stands, I've got to figure out who is Dennis Allen going to apologize to this year. The easy answer would be Sean Payton.
That would be.
The easy answer would be Sean Payton.
See, I went the other direction with my prediction for my final one, Kevin. I went the other way. See, I was thinking the most silliest prediction would be the Saints. At that point, the Saints would be, let's say they're having a good season. They're 3-3 playing the Broncos, or 4-2. My funny, silly prediction would be they play the Broncos on a Thursday night, absolutely, positively humiliate the Broncos. And the last vestiges of the Sean Payton era, the Cam Jordans, the Mario Davises, those guys rub it in Bo Nix's face. Like, just stomp all over them. The Saints have one of their funny things on the Jumbotron that's not approved by DA, and they take a poop on Sean Payton, and we are just loving it. And after the game, we make all these, even in the fourth quarter, we're like, Dennis Allen is going to apologize for this after the game. You can book it. He's going to ruin it. We're having a great fun. This is amazing. And at midfield, DA and Sean Payton have words, possible fisticuffs, very angry, kind of like what Sean Payton did with the old Tampa coach. Remember the Tampa coach that him and like they shook hands like really vigorously? Yeah. And I forget the guy's name because he's so Dirk Cutter. It was Dirk Cutter. He like shook hands with him vigorously and they had words. Like him and DA have that. And in the point, we're like, DA's going to apologize. He's going to apologize he's going to take it upon himself for the city, for the fans, for everybody to apologize. And he's going to go to the podium and he's going to quote Kendrick Lamar and he's going to say, they ain't like us. Denver ain't like us. And we're going to love DA forever. That's my silly prediction for the 2024 season. It's my final one.
I like that. No apology.
He's going to go. He's going to U-turn on. He's going to trick us. We think he's going to go one way. DA is going to zag. He's going to lean into the disaster that he turned Sean Payton's Broncos in. It's going to be amazing. That's my dream. So it's more like a dream than a prediction.
I like that better instead of me trying to figure out which head coach he's going to apologize to and for what reason. Like, would he apologize to the Redskins because the defense got a bunch of late hit penalties on Jaden Daniels and he has to apologize for possibly injuring the LSU
Cam
guy?
Jordan pulled out a headdress in the end zone after a touchdown.
Something like that. Did they do like some Taylor Swift type dance in Kansas City after scoring a touchdown?
That would be amazing.
That would be great. In prime time, no less. That would be great. Yeah. One of the players does the Lambeau leap in Green Bay. Again, primetime game. Does the Lambeau leap in Green Bay. The fans try and shove him, and there ends up being a situation where a player has to shove a fan back.
Yeah, ruckus. The Taylor Swift, I could see maybe Honey Badger does an interception, and he runs it back for a pick six, and he has a prop, and it's the Taylor Swift album, but instead of the Tortured Poet Society, it's Tortured Quarterback Society, and it has a picture of Patrick Mahomes on it with tears. I think that would be amazing.
Oh, he planted something.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna pick Patrick Mahomes and I'm gonna embarrass him. I gotta have a prop ready. He'd be like Joe Horn with the cell phone in the end zone. He had the prop, he got the prop ready. Yeah. That would be amazing.
I like that.
So, I gotta say, this show, I want to give it to us, Kevin. We created.
I want to applaud us.
I want to applaud us. We gave the people content. We gave the people quality Saints content where there was none.
I mean, your mileage may vary, but yeah, I get it.
There was a desert of Saints content, no news, and we tilled the soil, watered it, planted.
We are an oasis.
We are an oasis in a Saints news content desert. Saints Happy Hour. Support the program so we can do more of this. I mean, Kevin, you're not going to get a better podcast than this in the middle of May anywhere.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Until next time, the bar is closed.